An impressive showing by Portugal and a very disappointing showing by the Swiss. Portugal just beat Switzerland. Then what? 5-1, 6-1. I don't know.
6-1.
I lost track after 4. 6-1 in the round of 16, meaning Portugal will go on to face Morocco. And boy, do we have some words about it, about our disappointment. If you have watched any of the previous videos that in any way, shape, or form reference Morocco versus Portugal, or sorry, Switzerland versus Portugal, including the Jesus Christ, including the Spain versus Morocco game, the reaction we just posted, we mentioned it too. We thought this was going to be a much, much closer game than it was. We thought we called today the day of upsets as Morocco already beat Spain. So we were right with one thing, right? But we thought another one would happen and we see a Swiss Morocco quarterfinal matchup. But no, Switzerland was absolutely demolished by Goncalo Ramos. Well, not even Portugal. I mean, Portugal dominated, but Goncalo Ramos with a hat trick. So much to say. There. So you started off. So much to say.
I mean, like I can't even say as much as you do. You probably were able to really see the collapse. But to me, as someone who, when I saw the score, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the game to the audience. But when I saw the score, I was so disappointed. More in the fact that they lost by this much than they lost, because losing to Portugal is nothing to laugh at. They're a good team. They can be a little consistent at times, but they look like they were a much better team without Ronaldo. Surprise, surprise. And they were able to just play the way they want to play, and it looked great. But that being said, the 6-1 loss, South Korea had. I was telling you, South Korea had more to be proud of than Switzerland do here. This is the biggest loss of the 21st century in the World Cup since Germany's famous 7-1 Brazil defeat. And that was a humiliation of a seismic level. Like, no one had ever seen that big of a humiliation. And I know no one will put this up there because obviously it's not the same circumstances and same teams. But at the same time, it's still so disappointing. 6-1? This is the things you see in the group stages. You shouldn't be seeing this in the knockout stages. We know Switzerland are good enough to not lose this badly. I don't know what's the game, so I don't know what happened, but I'm just disappointed. I'm just so shocked right now. I really want to see a Switzerland Morocco quarterfinal, but here we are.
I did too. I mean, Switzerland, just like the game plan, this did not come out to play. Diego in the last game said they need to come out for war, which is not something that Switzerland does historically, being a neutral country. But today they showed their identity really, and did not come out to play.
They stay neutral. They stayed neutral.
They let Portugal walk all over them. There were no good, no positives to take for Switzerland. It was embarrassing. They go down 2-0. The hope is there because they were down 2-0 to France with 10 minutes to go in the Euros. So it's it's possible, right? And then nothing happens. Jesus. Nothing happens. Switzerland just let Portugal walk all over them without Ronaldo. We know Ronaldo hasn't done anything in World Cup. He hasn't been the player he hasn't been CR7 for the past half year, right? To the point he's going to play in Saudi Arabia. After he made an interview being mad at United, and one of the big reasons he did it was because he wasn't playing Champions League football, and he was going to go play in Saudi Arabia. Beside the point, he doesn't start the game. Goncalo Ramos starts the game instead and scores a hat trick. And it's so disappointing. I'm sorry, just from a Switzerland perspective, it's so disappointing. I mean, props to Goncalo Ramos. He had a hell of a game. And Portugal had a hell of a game. And we'll get to that. But it's just so sad. It's so sad. And Morocco is the only upset so far of the round of 16. Only upset. And props to them, but I thought Switzerland was going to pull it out.
For a group stage that had so many upsets, that was so exciting. This has been basically, on paper, best team wins kind of thing, besides Morocco. And it's like, what happened to that? The group stage was some of the best we'd ever seen, and now it's just so predictable. And it's like,
I mean, to me, like, the upsets in the group stage did not in any way reflect the teams that made it out. Somehow. You think of the Argentina group, Poland was the one that made it out. When Mexico and Saudi Arabia, personally, I felt deserved it more. Tunisia didn't make it out, even though they beat France. The only team that, like, I'm happy with and having consistent. Morocco is unbeaten so far, and they've played the likes of
Wow.
Belgium, Spain,
Croatia.
thank you,
Croatia. Yeah.
thank you, Croatia. And they're still unbeaten. They're the only team that's been able to keep their. I don't want to say form. I want to say they keep their quality, while the other teams, it was just form in the moment to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been depressing. It doesn't take away anything from the group stage for me, because it was a great group
No,
stage.
of course not.
It's just we would have liked to see more upsets, but I think Morocco is the world's team if you don't have a team right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Just
think the point.
for what they bring, the passion they play with, the location, it being an African country, the fourth African country to make the quarterfinals, which is insane, by the way. That's crazy. Only 4 teams have made it, and one of them was this year. I think they're the world's team. If you don't have, if your country is not still in the World Cup.
Yeah, I think the group stages, we can all agree, are some of the best group stages we've seen. Unfortunately, so far the round 16 has been disappointing in excitement wise. And honestly, I think it's partly because the good teams showed up when they had to show up, and knew that this was no longer playing. You're no longer just playing around. You can lose a game. No, you have to show up. And the teams that weren't good just weren't good, and they lost. For example, Spain. They just weren't good enough. We knew we were shaking the group stage, and Morocco played it perfectly. But Portugal, I think, is one of those that knew they had to show up, and and can I just say they made a bold change to drop Cancelo and Ronaldo. And how many teams do that? How many managers make that decision? Drop the country's superstar and Manchester City's fullback.
Yeah.
Not many, and it paid off big time.
And also doesn't start Andre Silva, doesn't start Ruben Neves,
Yeah,
doesn't start the team. A lot of players that they didn't start, they could have. Rafael didn't start, and they put Goncalo Ramos up top, and it turns out to be the great choice. And even we look back, and if you look back at the most recent video, I don't want to say criticized it, but we were doubting it. The pick of Goncalo Ramos up top instead of Andre Silva, at least. Or moving Zhao into a more central role and playing Rafael top on the left side. It's just I guess we were wrong. Like it turned out to be better. And as for the big teams in round 16, I think personally the underdog wins in the group stage backfired on the underdogs going to round 16, because the amount of underdog wins really showed these big nations that they can't treat these countries as less than they are, meaning that in the round 16 they're going to play a much better team, they're going to play harder, things like that, because they don't want to be humiliated by these teams. So like I said, it backfired on the round of 16 on the round 16 underdogs because of the group stage performances. A shame, really, but this is how it is. And the round of 16 may have been more one-sided than we had wanted, but it will set up the quarterfinals for very good games, that being France, England, Brazil, Croatia, Argentina, Netherlands, and Morocco, Portugal. All of them are going to be class games to me in my head.
And can I just say, whoever comes out into the semifinals will have some amazing semifinals. And I honestly, I'm cool with any of these teams playing, because I think they'll be great games no matter what. But with that being said, have we ever been closer to a Messi Ronaldo final than we have?
I was thinking that too mid-game. This
is actually crazy. They're two of the best teams in the tournament. They have Argentina are not facing an easy draw whatsoever, but they can still. People probably still put them favorites. Portugal, I think everybody agrees they're favorites. They look very convincing today, and are a much better team than Spain now that we've seen them both in action. So we probably expect them to beat Morocco. All respect to Morocco, but we do probably expect them to do that. But have we ever been closer to a Messi Ronaldo final? I don't think we have, and it's got the chills. I got the chills. I want to see it. I want to see it.
The excitement is there, and it won't be easy, like we said. Portugal,
no, definitely not.
Even beating Morocco, I'm conflicted there, because I want Morocco to win for the sake of African countries going far, but I want Portugal to win at the same time for the Messi Ronaldo final. Portugal, if they do win, they have to play France or England, which won't be an easy squads to face in any way, shape, or form. Any team could win that. Argentina, on the other hand, they beat Netherlands, more likely have to face Brazil or Croatia. Both teams as well. Brazil being much stronger than Croatia to me, but both teams being good contenders for the World Cup in general, if not to make it to the final at least. So it won't be easy, but if the cards play out right, we could be seeing in their final World Cups, Argentina versus Portugal. But also at the same time, for Portugal, if they were to make it there, you see what Goncalo Ramos can do. You see what Portugal's team without Ronaldo can do. Do you play Ronaldo in the final?
That's a
Even if it's
question.
against Messi?
That's
Because
a question.
on a pure tactical level, maybe not. Seeing today. Also depends how they play against Morocco and the game after, if they were to make it to the game after, right? To the final. If that were to happen and Goncalo Ramos is your starting striker or anyone else and the team plays much better without Ronaldo, do you start him for the sake of nostalgia?
No, I
And
mean,
history?
yeah,
Manager's perspective, no. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash for it if he doesn't.
for sure,
Like
for sure.
pure football fan perspective, he has to at least come on. Has
Absolutely,
to.
absolutely.
But it'd be a shame if Messi were to come off and Ronaldo come on, you know? So it's just, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it for sure, but it would
Of course,
it
and
would go down in history for sure.
don't forget as well, Argentina have to face Brazil, who everybody have as the favorites of the tournament. They are probably the strongest team in the tournament right now, based off of what we've seen, and they look scary. And it's not it's gonna take a lot. Let's just say it happens, and it's meant to happen if it does. That it truly is. But still a long way to go. And I'm not gonna lie, even seeing like a England Brazil or Brazil France or an Argentina England, all of that is just such a good final that will be it'll be great. It'll be great. And don't forget, we could still see. And I know it's going to be a lot more boring and not as fun. We could still see a third place match between Argentina and Brazil. I mean,
we could. Portugal, we could. That's true.
Yeah. So there's nothing to win for it. But hey, it'll be as close as we could get, maybe.
But it's still a GOAT matchup for sure. I don't know. I think the group stage here has heavily set us up for a fantastic World Cup in general, and a fantastic. The group stage for me has made a lot of it, and without it, I don't know if we'd be as excited or anything. Blah blah. But it's been utterly fantastic, and we could see the dream matchup. Anyway, but like I said, we have a long time before that. We have 2 days before the next games, which sucks, but we all need the break, especially as Americans. We're waking up at 7 in the morning every day for it, which is early for us. Early for us when our normal wake up time is 11 or 12. We need the break, but I think it only adds the anticipation of 2 quarterfinal days afterwards, and then the semifinals, and then the final on the 18th. It's going to be great. This Saturday, I think, is it Friday, Saturday? Friday, Saturday,
yeah.
Friday, Saturday are going to be exciting, delightful days.
Absolutely.
It's going to be great.
It'll be heartbreak. It'll be excitement. It'll be tears of joy, tears of sadness.
What more do you want? What more do you want from the World Cup? Before then, we should have. I want to do a quarterfinals preview before then, so we can just gauge, our opinions. So, if you're interested in that, if you're interested in hearing what we have to think about it, please subscribe, turn notifications on, so you get alerted for when that comes out. We are 5 away from our goal of 100. Our goal was to hit it by the end of the year. We have a long time before then, so please consider subscribing. We greatly appreciate it. We're just 5 away from triple digits, like I said. Like the video, if you did indeed enjoy it. I think it was a good one. I think all these have been really good ones with the quality of the games that we're getting, and lots to talk about. And do you have anything to add, Dale?
I don't. Just thanks for watching.
Perfect. Just not here, could not be here again. Regrets his choice, and we're considering removing him from the position. I'm just kidding. That's a joke, but he'll be here as well, hopefully for the next times. So we hope you guys enjoy the World Cup as much as we are. We hope you guys enjoying watching these videos as much as we enjoy making these videos, and we hope to see you guys at the next one. So we'll see you guys later. Peace.